This is Mike, NoStressMike.com. I want to talk a little bit about some unwritten rules in the sniper world. Now, these are things you need to think about if you decide you want to become or start a sniper team, sniper and a scout team. These are things you might want to think about. Okay, remember, you need to do some history on snipers. Snipers is in the military. The sniper is historically known as the lowest part of a combat personnel. Normally, after wars, they dismantle all the snipers and they get rid of them. This is not something that they normally want to keep going. And then whenever a war starts, then they start up sniper schools all over again and do all this stuff. And so snipers are at the bottom of the list on respect when it comes to military. Now, it's no different on three-man militia or militias. I'll tell you, the sniper world is a complete different world than regular combat. I've talked about using snipers when you see me come up against overwhelming odds. You're going to probably be at the disadvantage if you're part of the overwhelming odds, because I'm not a fool. I am not going to step into the jaws of hell by myself or with two other guys, and I'm not going to do it unless I got my marbles together. And in other words, I'm going to have the advantage before I'm going to face you and walk up to you and get that close to you. Now, one of the ways I have the advantage is snipers. I will have snipers set up, and they will be figured on hand signals. So I can make signals on who I want dead and when I want them dead. And so that's the good part of being snipers. That is the good part. They're right in amongst the fighting. A lot of times, though, they're not considered snipers. They're considered riflemen. But for me, and in a three-man militia type environment, I consider them snipers because they're not just wasting ammo. I'm expecting them to use effective firepower, not just shoot up the place. You might have seen some pictures in Vietnam where people pick their gun up, just start shooting like that. That's not what I expect from these people behind me. Like I say, I'm in a world of shit. I'm expecting them to get good shots and clean out whatever I can't get. So I don't expect them just to close their eyes and blindly start shooting. So I look at that as a sniper. But the other part of snipers are the scout type, where they are not amongst us, the combat ready. They are outside our range, or outside our perimeters and stuff like that. They have different rules. And one of the things I had to make a video to express this, to say this, to let people understand. Now, when I'm as a three-man meet and greet coming out and I am talking to whatever, I'm in a negotiating point at that time. When I come out, I'm negotiating. We don't want you as a scout team or snipers set outside the perimeter to take life. That is not the time. I'm negotiating. But to clarify that, you might be out there, and the people that I'm coming up to talk to, they're going to have their people out there too. You may have to take life at that time. For sure, you're going to be looking around, because don't keep your eye on me. You also have to be watching, because the people approaching us have the same ideas as I do. They're not going to come out here unless they've got their people out there too. So you're going to be watching all the way around. Now, after we negotiate, after we make this dealing with these people, then for sure, I really don't want you killing any of them. I really don't want that done. Okay, now, up until we do this negotiating, I really don't want you to, but, you know, we just don't know what's going to happen. For sure, as being part of my team, I don't want you injured or killed. So, for sure, you have to do what you got to do. Hopefully, you won't have to kill them. Hopefully you'll see them and they'll just go on by you, and then you won't have to kill them. In this particular situation, while we're negotiating, now you have to know where they're at, because if the negotiating turns bad, you need to make sure those people get out of it pretty quick. That's what you're out there for. The people that are behind me in our secured area are supposed to take care of what's here available right out here in front of us and at my flanks. But if they're true snipers and they're out there, that's your job as a sniper to find them and get them taken care of. So, but like I say, don't really get them taken care of while I'm negotiating, because any firing is going to start the firing at my side. And I don't want outsiders starting the fight. But like I say, once the first shot is fired, man, I mean, it breaks out. It's ugly. So keep that in mind when you are out as a scouting, or you're a sniper that's outside the lines. These are things you're going to have to consider in this, and it's going to have to be worked out in detail with your meet and greet groups, teams, and figure out how you're going to handle these kind of situations and what you're going to do. So, but anyway, I just thought I'd better mention that to you, because I've been thinking about snipers here lately, and I thought maybe I better clarify all this kind of stuff so people have a good idea of what they're getting into, because I do want snipers, I do want scouts, but at the same time, you have to know what you're getting into. And also, I don't even know, depending on the circumstances and the situation, if we can back up scouts once they get out like that. I mean, I don't know how to do that. I'm going to have to put the thought process to it. And then again, it depends on your particular area and the plans that you pick up. Like you'll have, if you have problems when you're out there, then the scouts will draw back to a specific area that we all know where they're going to be going back to, because they may be wounded. And that might be where they're going to be storing food and water. So they're going to fall back, and it's a place where they can hold. So if they get in trouble, they can fall back to this place, and we know where they're at, and so we can go help them on something like that. But just going out in the middle of nowhere and trying to find snipers and scouts, it's going to be impossible, because the rest of us won't have the skills as the scouts do. So we won't be able to find you. That's why it's probably better to have areas already figured out. This is where we're going to fall back. We're going to fall back to this, A, B, C, D. So we're going to be in one of these kind of places when we fall back. And if you're not in one of those places, we won't be able to go out and search and try to find you. But anyway, these are thoughts on snipers and scout team, 3-man teams. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.